Okay, this is a lichen that I collected on the perimeter trail, specifically the Ice Park loop. Get a little closer. And it stands up when it's dry, so it's kind of laying down a little bit. So you can see, focus a little bit. So these brown structures on the thallus seem to be apothecia. It has a very distinctive upper and lower surface, and so I've taken it through the key of the common Rocky Mountain lichens, and it didn't get anywhere. A couple of times, assumed maybe it's fruticose, which doesn't make a lot of sense, and that doesn't end up with anything good either. But anyway, Lichens of North America, which is the big book of lichens, and might add it not as complete as it could be. But the conclusion was, and I'm kind of looking. Oh, well, there's something right there. But that could be a different species. But anyway, that's fairly decent. Okay. But anyway, what I came up with, if I could focus a little bit more, is that it's a Cladonia, and there are Cladonias. See if I can find an example. Here's a Cladonia. There's little wine glass fruiting structures. This one has a not really a well-developed thallus. But anyway, so the wine glass look about it. It's another example. So quite a few Cladonias. Say Cladonias are like the grasses of the lichen world, but that's not necessarily true. So, but maybe like the oaks of the lichen world. So anyway, this seemed to come up as a Cladonia, and the only Cladonia in the area, which is really not good to identify things by area, is I found lichens that, are typically in Europe. Over here, we just call them a slightly different name. But anyway, this seems to be Cladonia symphycarpia, and occasionally it does develop fruiting bodies. It's like that little thing that I just saw there. But more typically, it has this sort of squamule look to it. And these are very big squamules. The one that I just showed is a lot more typical. So anyway, a little better. That weird little lichen, which was growing on the soil under trees, off the beaten path a little bit, seems to be Cladonia symphycarpia. So not all Cladonias have that cup, and although certainly the pretty ones do. So as I said, this is a very frustrating one, and so forth. So we do have, this is really the main non-cup forming Cladonia in southeastern Colorado. A lot more typical in the east of the Mississippi. You'll see a number of these, and so if there's any reason, I think the confusing part was, get a little bit closer, that it has fruiting bodies. Oh, there's a thrip. There, decompositional thrip. It has fruiting bodies. It should be perfectly identifiable. But lo and behold, I don't know how many times I've run it through a key. But anyway, there you go. So there is such a thing as a non-cup forming Cladonia.